Our final speaker is DAYNA NIEDBALSKI, but I don't know if she's here actually. Dana? Dana? Oh, here she is.
There are two types of, oh, sorry, hang on a second. I'm trying to talk with these things on. Oh, hey, relax. As I was saying, there are two types of motorcyclists. There are motorcycle owners, and then there are motorcycle riders. Now, an owner is somebody who owns a bike, but essentially just for the image of being a biker. I have to admit, it is kind of cool. Hence this. And then a motorcycle rider is somebody who owns a bike not just because the image is cool, but because they love riding. These are the motorcyclists, you know what I'm talking about. These are the motorcyclists that are truly in love with riding and the feel that they get from experiencing the road from a completely different perspective. These are also the motorcyclists that will go on a ride whenever the opportunity presents itself. Which is why today I'm going to talk a little bit about motorcycle riders and their clubs and how untapped of a fundraising source they are. To start, I've been riding for about 2 years now, and I worked at a motorcycle gear store for a short period of time. While I was there, I met a lot of fellow riders, and I also was able to get to know a lot of the local clubs as well as local chapters of more widespread clubs. And that store also served as a pretty common meeting place and rally point for both recreational and charity rides. One of the things that I noticed during my time there was that riding really is a lifestyle. And the longer you ride, the more it becomes that way. Have you ever been driving to work early in the morning and you see someone out on their bike, it's sunny outside, but it's also 30 degrees and freezing, and they look like a big black leather cocoon? Yeah, those are the people that really understand the saying, live to ride, ride to live. And it's quite interesting to see. I know, because I was one of those bundled up black cocoons this morning and was able to strip down a little bit of it. But one of the things that I also kind of noticed is that there's something, I kind of call it a rider radar, because riders tend to attract each other. They find each other, and then they group together. There really is a strong sense of camaraderie in the biker community. But motorcyclists usually aren't approached by outside organizations as a source of funding for charities. People tend to shy away from them a little bit just because the image isn't quite charitable, I suppose you could say. But give a biker a good cause to put miles on their odometer for, I guarantee you they will be there in a heartbeat. Truly. Even if it's just racking up some miles and then donating for it later. That's definitely a way to do it.
Oh! Nice catch. That's okay, it was a Canadian one.
Okay, I got it. I'll try not to move around quite as much. But since no one usually approaches bikers, they tend to do it internally on their own. So most clubs will have a particular charity that they really like to donate to. So, for instance, a couple of the clubs, they'll host poker runs. So usually they'll hit about five spots along the course of a ride. Each spot they will get a card from a deck of cards. At the end, the person with the highest hand wins. So it's all a matter of luck, but usually there's auctions and donations and a fee to enter, and all those funds will go to the particular charity that that club donates to. Also, the store that I worked at participated in a nationwide fundraiser that was based solely on the fact that one man rode a Harley 1 million miles. So what Harley Davidson did is they gave him a brand new bike in exchange for his million-mile Harley. But then there was a bit of a debate because no one really knew where this Harley should be displayed. Should it be displayed in the man's hometown, or should it be displayed in the main Harley-Davidson showroom? So they put it to vote. There was one jar for each location, and people could put money in the jar of the location that they thought the Harley should be displayed at. The location with the most amount of funds at the end wins. There were people that were putting $100 bills in those jars. Lots of coins, lots of money. It ended up being a very big fundraiser, and it all went to benefit military families. So even if there's no ride involved, riders will still contribute. Example of a charity ride though, every single year in December, there is a toy run held in Olympia. And this toy run is specifically to gain toys and some funds as well to benefit the Salvation Army and also needy children. In 2008, there were over 10,000 bikes present for this one-day event. In December, in the freezing cold, they still went. They raised over $100,000 in new and used toys, and also over $17,000 in straight donations. And then last year, in 2009, there were over 15,000 bikes that raised over $144,000 in toys and over $15,000 in donations. So that's something that keeps growing and keeps growing. And the Rotary Club is the largest scholarship organization in the world, 1.2 million members. You guys know what that's about and how to do those events, like the one you're hosting this weekend. Things like that really make a difference. But when it comes to the motorcycling community, they're very few and far between. There's not a lot of events like the toy run out there. A lot of it is because motorcyclists tend to be stereotyped and judged by those who don't know them as rough, tough people who, I don't want to get my time from a fundraiser to benefit me. But in reality, most motorcyclists, if approached with the idea of going to a charity ride, will say, tell me where and when, and I will be there. Not only will they shine and clean their bike down to the last little piece of dirt to go to the event, but they will also get every single one of their riding buddies to join them. Because true riders will be more than happy to set aside a day to go for a ride and gain some miles, especially if it's for a good cause. For after all, as the saying goes, only a biker knows why a dog sticks its head out the car window.